Okay, one of my longtime mentors named Brian Tracy, you might have heard that name. You might be familiar with him. He's a world-renowned business mentor. Anyway, a long time ago, he said there are people who think, but never do. Do you know people like that? They come up with great ideas. Oh, I know, let's this. Or, I've got a great idea. Why don't we X, right? But then they never implement, they never do. Maybe you've struggled with this yourself. On the other hand, there are people who do all the time. They're always busy, always moving, always doing. Gotta go, see you later, call me later, I'll get back to you, I'm busy, right? They're doing all the time. You think, wow. Problem is they never stop to think. So here's the challenge. There are people who think, and never do. And there are others who do, and never think, never stop to think. And really, you need to be able to do both. You need to strike a balance. But how do you do that? How can you strike a balance? And how do you even know if you're off kilter? Or when you have acquired that balance? Well, that's what we're going to talk about now. Okay, ready? We'll get into it.
Okay.
Okay, so did that help you? I hope that helped you some. Now, I want to show you why that's so important. All the things that we discussed about thinking and doing. This might be an illustration that will resonate with you. Excuse my artwork right now, but see if you recognize this even. Okay, we've got somebody, that's supposed to be a rowboat, all right? So this is one oar, and we'll call this oar activity. Okay, here's the other oar. And this is mindset. Now, we just discussed the importance of both. But I wanted to illustrate it here because if all you're doing is activity, moving, guess what direction you're going in? A circle. If you're only rowing with activity, you're moving in a circle. Isn't the same thing true? Wouldn't the same thing be true with mindset? Yes. And that's what happens. People are puzzled. Why am I not moving forward? I'm so busy. Why am I not moving forward? I have a great mindset. I'm positive all the time. I've even got my vision board up, everything, you know? And they're still stuck. They're going in a circle. And that's because in order to move forward, you need both oars in the water. Isn't that true? All right. That's it. That's it. It has been said that until you commit your goals to paper, you merely have intentions that are like seeds without soil. Now, we all know that seeds need soil to grow. I could show you a seed that has the potential to become a whole tree, a big tree that would provide shade for people, that would provide home for many birds, maybe even food, if I plant it. Otherwise, it's just a seed full of potential, but serving no one. Paper is to goals what soil is to seed. And if you plant the seeds of thought from your mind onto paper, then it can come to fruition. You don't want your goals, your dreams, to be on the back burner or on the shelf, full of potential, not serving anyone. Plant them on paper. and let them grow. That's it.
All right. Go for it.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Have any of you heard the expression, or maybe you're familiar with the idea that thoughts become things? What you think about, you bring about? Has anyone heard that expression? Okay. Yeah, a number of you have. Not everyone, but quite a few. All right, so my next question is going to be, how many of you actually believe that there might be something to that? Anyone? Okay. You admit that, do you? You know, the first time I heard that, thoughts are actually powerful and that you can draw to you what you want in life by virtue of your thoughts. I mean, that just sounded like hoo-ha to me, you know, like who's smoking what. And then I thought, what if there's something to this? I mean, do I know everything? Maybe I should at least look at it. What if there is something to it and I just blow it off? So I figured, you know, I've got nothing to lose. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So I began to research. Is the idea of your thoughts being powerful science? Is it scientific? Or is it science fiction? What I'd like to do right now is to share with you some of the science that I discovered around how powerful your thoughts really are, and then share with you some of my personal experiences. But before I do, I want to share with you a little poem that speaks to this idea. And it goes like this. You never can tell what your thoughts will do in bringing you hate or love. For thoughts are things, and their airy wings are swifter than carrier doves. They follow the law of the universe. Each thing must produce its kind, and it follows the track to bring you back whatever went out from your mind. Interesting, isn't it? All right, so let's get into the science of it first.
Go ahead.
So wasn't that fascinating to see the science behind the idea that what you think about, you bring about? Who knew, right, that there was actually science behind it? And I had so much fun sharing with you my stories of how I got my dream car, how the grand piano just seemingly came to me, remember, with the phone call? Even back when the BlackBerry was a hot thing and I wound up with a brand new one for free. Who would expect something like that? Or the trips that I took, the cruise that I took, right? How all that came about. So those are some of my stories, but I would love to hear, and I'm sure everybody else would love to hear, some of your stories. So does anyone have a story that they'd love to share that's similar? Oh, you do? Fabulous. Tell us about it. Okay. Sound okay?
Sounds good.
Okay. So we can't talk too long about marketing without talking about your niche or your niche, right? However you want to pronounce it. Your section of the marketplace. Who do you serve? Who needs your products and services? Now, I have to tell you, and maybe some of you feel this way too, because oftentimes when I'm talking to entrepreneurs about who they serve, they'll tell me, well, really, I can serve everyone. My products and services suit everyone. And you know, that might well be true, especially if, it depends on your industry, of course, but for example, someone in the wellness industry. I especially hear that with industries like that, because really, who doesn't need to be well? Who doesn't need to be healthy? And perhaps you really do have products that would serve a baby all the way up to a senior citizen and everybody in between. So naturally you feel like, well, I can really help everyone. The problem with that type of marketing is that if you try to speak to everyone, nobody hears you. For example, if I was standing on a tall, in front of a tall building, on the steps of an office building, and there's this crowd of people on the sidewalk walking past me, maybe I'm in New York, And I look down at that crowd of people that are walking past me and I say, hey, I can help you, everyone. Hey, everyone, I can help you. And I'm sincere, but who's going to pay attention to me? Who's going to stop and really listen to me? Oh, I'll get some people that will go, okay, whatever. But who's going to really pay attention to me? Now let's take that same scenario. I'm still standing on the steps of the building, and this crowd of people is walking past me, and I say, hey, Mary, I can help you. Guess who's going to stop? All the Marys. Is she talking to me? Is he talking to me? See, now you've got their attention. You've got all the Marys in the crowd attention. And in the marketplace, if you hone down your niche to a small segment, then you can speak their language. Your message can resonate with them. Whereas if you speak to everyone, your message has to be watered down. You know, we talk about target marketing all the time, don't we? And that's good, isn't it? Because we are honing down our audience to the size of a target, we'll say. That's your target. However, you and I both know that an archer, when that archer pulls the bow, he or she is only aiming for one thing. What is it? It's the bullseye, right? So that's an even smaller section of that board, isn't it? It's the smallest section on the board. Why shoot for that bullseye? Because that's where all the points are. And that's how you win. Many people are afraid to reduce their market to such a small sweet spot. But if you do that, really, that's how you win.